The story begins in the dim, oppressive atmosphere of an old, deserted tunnel. Orhan stands alone, his senses heightened, his body tense with alertness. Suddenly, the silence is shattered as a swarm of demon rats lunges at him from the shadows. Without hesitation, Orhan strikes, his sword moving with surprising speed and precision, slicing through the beasts. As the creatures fall, a realization washes over him. He is not as weak as he had convinced himself he was. A spark of hope ignites within him. Perhaps he truly does have a real chance to become a skilled swordsman. Just as he catches his breath, a group of goblins blocks his path. This time, Orhan decides not to rely solely on his blade. He chooses to test his support magic. He casts a support spell on himself, and immediately, a vibrant green aura envelopes his body. This magic is designed to strengthen the body or boost equipment, and while it is typically used to buff teammates, its unique advantage is that a caster can use it on themselves, surging with enhanced strength. Orhan engages the goblins, overpowering them with ease. He knows such spells are vital for any party, especially during prolonged battles. However, he is also painfully aware of the magic's flaw. It is temporary. The duration depends entirely on the caster's magic resistance. In Orhan's case, the effects last roughly 3 minutes. He has to keep a mental countdown ticking away in his head constantly. If the spell fades mid-fight, the situation could turn fatal. He recasts the magic, maintaining his momentum with perfect control and balance. He dispatches the last of the goblins. Despite his display of skill and careful combat, his mind drifts back to the painful memory of his dismissal. It happened abruptly. Oliver, the leader of the hero's party and Orhan's childhood best friend, decided to kick him out. When Orhan heard the news, he was paralyzed by shock. He thought it was a cruel joke. They had formed this party together 8 years ago, rising rapidly through the ranks to become the first group to reach the 94th floor of the Southern Great Dungeon. They were legends, known to the public as the Heroes Party. But Oliver was serious. He admitted that while their friendship was old, it was the reason he had given Orhan so many chances. Oliver explained that Orhan had made no real progress and could no longer keep up with the party's level. Before Orhan could protest, other members, Anley and Derek, chimed in, telling Oliver not to be so soft. They bluntly told Orhan he was being removed simply because he wasn't strong enough. Oliver conceded that Orhan's support magic wasn't bad, but after witnessing the enchanters of other top-tier parties during their last raid, the difference was stark. Compared to them, Orhan was weak. Oliver reminded him that he was originally a swordsman who was never meant to focus on support magic. Dennis, another member, shouted in anger, accusing Orhan of switching roles only because he knew he could never beat Oliver at swordsmanship. Orhan denied this desperately. He explained that the party had needed an enchanter back then, and since he had the most talent for it, he took the burden upon himself. He had even developed his own custom magic to cover his deficiencies, doing everything to ensure they survived the deep floors. But Oliver shut down the argument. They had already found a replacement. Orhan realized that 8 years of loyalty meant nothing. As he gathered his dignity to leave, Enley threw one last insult at him. You're just a jack of all trades. You can do a little bit of everything, but you'll never be the best at anything. Back in the present, walking through the tunnel, those words haunt him. But Orhan reframes the insult. He believes his adaptability is his strength. He decides he will become a hybrid, a warrior who is both a swordsman and an enchanter. The day he masters both, no one will dare mock him again. As Orhan prepares to head home, chaos erupts at the dungeon entrance. A group of panicked adventurers bursts out, gasping for air. Orhan intends to ignore them, but he overhears their conversation. They were surrounded by orcs and, in their cowardice, left a new girl behind, a girl who had joined their party only that day. Orhan freezes. He knows he shouldn't get involved, but rage boils in his blood. He knows exactly how terrible it feels to be abandoned by one's own party. When the adventurers try to justify their actions, claiming nothing could be done, Orhan snaps at them. The leader of the group, offended, throws a punch at Orhan. Orhan catches the fist effortlessly and slams the man into the ground. Where did you leave her? He demands. Deep inside the dungeon, the girl is backing away in terror. A horde of orcs surrounds her. She casts a defensive barrier, but the relentless attacks shatter it. Defenseless and out of mana, she closes her eyes, accepting her fate. Suddenly, a gust of wind tears through the chamber. Orhan stands before her. He activates his support magic and charges into the horde. He is a blur of motion, cutting down orcs with terrifying efficiency. The girl watches in disbelief. She has never seen anyone combine swordsmanship and support magic simultaneously. She wonders if he is a knight or a mage. Orhan realizes the numbers are high. He understands why a low-rank party fled, but for him, this is manageable. Channeling power into his enchanted sword, he unleashes a sweeping attack that obliterates the remaining orcs in a single stroke. It turns to the girl and asks if she is okay. Overwhelmed by the near-death experience, she collapses and bursts into tears. Later, as they exit the cave, Orhan tries to say goodbye. Girl stops him. She introduces herself as Sophia and insists on treating him to dinner as thanks for saving her life. Orhan tries to decline, saying he didn't do it for a reward, but Sophia uses the ultimate weapon, puppy eyes. Orhan crumbles and agrees. As they walk, he notices a familiar crest on her cloak, but can't quite place where he has seen it. They arrive at a local restaurant, Sophia's favorite. It's affordable, but delicious. As they enter, Orhan glances at the sign outside and suddenly remembers the crest. It is the symbol of the night sky silver rabbits, one of the largest and most powerful guilds in the Kingdom of News. Sophia is a member of an elite guild. Inside, Sophia bumps into her sister, Selma. Selma asks what Sophia is doing there, then immediately notices Orhan. She scolds Sophia, saying she is too young to have a boyfriend. The tension rises when it is revealed that Orhan and Selma already know each other. Selma is a celebrity in the adventuring world. She is a member of the S-rank party of the Silver Rabbits and is considered the continent's most powerful enchanter. She is the innovator who established the Trinity party system. She is the very standard against which Oliver compared Orhan. It was after seeing Selma's power in a recent raid that the hero's party decided to fire Orhan. Selma glares at Orhan with hostility, accusing him of trying to get close to her 14-year-old sister. Orhan frantically explains it was just a thank you dinner. Selma interprets this poorly, thinking Orhan is implying Sophia isn't good enough for him. Sophia finally snaps, shouting at Selma to stop yelling at the man who saved her life. Selma pauses. She realizes Sophia went into the dungeon alone. After confirming Sophia is unhurt, Selma's demeanor shifts completely. She thanks Orhan and apologizes for her rudeness. The three sit down to eat. Sophia is confused about how they know each other. Orhan explains they met during the joint raid last month. Selma was the unit leader, and he was a support mage under her command. Sophia is stunned to learn Orhan was a member of the famous heroes party. Orhan corrects her, former member. Selma is shocked that a mage of Orhan's caliber was kicked out. Seeing an opportunity, she asks if he is free. Orhan, assuming she wants to recruit him to the Silver Rabbits, immediately declines, stating he doesn't want to join a party right now. Selma clarifies she doesn't want him as a member, but as a tutor for a special teaching expedition starting tomorrow. The plan is for high-ranking adventurers to power-level new recruits, dragging them down to the 50th floor of the Southern Great Dungeon in just 3 days. Orhan is skeptical. Reaching the 50th floor usually takes top adventurers 6 months to a year. Selma admits it's crazy, but with the shortest route and the clan sponsors pushing for it, it has to happen. Orhan quickly deduces the strategy. If a high-level tutor defeats the floor boss, the low-level recruits can register at the transport crystal and bypass the danger. This exploits the system to mass-produce high-level members for the clan quickly. Selma is impressed by his sharp intuition. She takes his hands, looking him in the eyes, and says she genuinely respects his abilities, which is why she wants him. For Orhan's praise triggers the trauma of his dismissal. He was fired because his magic wasn't as good as Selma's. He fears that if he accepts the role of an enchanter again, he will only face more regret. He pulls his hands away and refuses. Sophia, seeing her savior walking away, unleashes the puppy eyes once more. Orhan sighs. He cannot win against that face. He agrees to go, but on one condition. I have chosen the path of the swordsman. If I go as a swordsman, not an enchanter. Selma is surprised but agrees, noting that he can always switch back to magic if the situation gets dire. She tells him to report to headquarters the next morning. The shopkeeper's wisdom. Night. Orhan visits a small shop he frequents. It is closing time, but the elderly owner welcomes him in for a drink. The old man chats with him, mentioning how much business has boomed because Orhan, a famous adventurer, spread the word about his shop. Orhan, feeling a pang of shame, admits he is no longer part of the hero's party. He expects disappointment. Instead, the shopkeeper thanks him again. He tells Orhan that his gratitude isn't for the title, but for the person. The old man smiles warmly. I have a feeling that in the future, many more people will have reason to thank you, Orhan, being forced out of that party. It might just be a blessing in disguise that you can't see yet. He advises Orhan to listen to his heart and assures him that he will always have a place here. Tears well up in Orhan's eyes. For the first time since the betrayal, he feels truly seen. He thanks the old man from the bottom of his heart.